I grew up on Southern Avenue. I started kindergarten um, at this school called Henley Elementary. It was on Chesapeake Avenue. Kind of rough, especially back then in the 90s. The crime rates were higher. And, it was a little more typical of what you would expect for, like a hood surrounding area, or like a ghetto surrounding area, if you would, quote unquote. And one of my teachers suggested that I should be put in schools uptown. Yeah, from 6th to ninth grade, it was almost an hour and a half commute for when I went to WIS, Washington International School. I had to travel from Southern Avenue to Cleveland Park. It's always a toss-up in Anacostia. You have no idea whether, there's a street that's going to be on the news or not. And you have to be a bit more careful. That being said, it's not like the scariest place on earth, which is a big misconception. A lot of, I'd say, go ahead and say it, like kids have, who come to the city and move to Northwest, and they're a bit intimidated by the whole Southeast quadrant, which they shouldn't be because there's so much there. The Eastern Market area itself is a good starting point because it's in Southeast, and there's usually these ideas about Southeast and that quadrant, and so it's a good breaking point. It's very quaint, very beautiful, near the capital. In DC, being that it's so small and the segregation, people kind of collide more in the center of it. I feel that there is less understanding to, people who have to wake up earlier, maybe to come across town to a job that even pays less, I feel like there's a lot of judgment, being tossed around on both sides, or there can be, and it's not really healthy. You'd be surprised what happens when you just talk to someone, and not everyone is against you or going to threaten your life in some way. Some people are helpful. There are good people. I think that's a big insult of taking an area like Anacostia and just assuming that it's bad and that all the people there are bad. The city's gonna have to step in, definitely, and they are. There's increased police presence, and it's still out of a lot of people's hands. Yeah. Money really does control what will happen to Anacosia's future.